Dear children, welcome all of you to the online classes of biology. So dear children, we were studying various topics like to the various experiments, isn't it, that proved DNA as the genetic material. Now we are going to study about the another topic, that is DNA replication. So what do you mean by replication? That is the process by which a DNA molecule get divided into two daughter molecules, isn't it? So that process is called what? DNA replication. Understood? As you know, DNA is having two strands, and this DNA with two strands will get divided into two more molecules with two strands in each. So that process is called what? DNA replication, isn't it? And so at the time of Watson and Crick's experiments, or means it's their proposal that the DNA contains two strands, they indicated that as they proposed the complementarity of base pairs, there will be chance of what? Getting the mechanism of how the DNA material is getting copied, or how DNA replication happens. Okay, they were having some idea, and it was later on found that DNA replication is semi-conservative. Okay, so Watson and Crick, they have mentioned that it has not escaped or noticed that the specific pairing, what is specific pairing here? The complementarity. Okay, we have postulated immediately suggest a possible copying mechanism for genetic material. Okay, so they have quoted, okay, like this. So they were little bit aware of the mechanism by which a DNA molecule is getting divided into two. Okay, so later on what it was found that the DNA replication, okay, that is semi-conservative. Okay, so what do you mean by semi-conservative? That is, the two strands will separate each other, and each of them will act as a template for the synthesis of new complementary strand. Okay, so after the completion of this complete replication process, you can see that in the daughter DNA molecules, okay, one strand will be of the parental strand and the other strand will be of the newly synthesized strand. Understood? So this is what called as what? Semi-conservative method of DNA replication. So what do you mean by DNA replication? The process by which DNA gets, or DNA molecule get divided into two molecules. One DNA molecule will get divided into two molecules, or the method of copying, okay, of is DNA into two. Okay, from one DNA the information will be copied and it will be getting divided into two molecules. Understood? So this is said to be semi-conservative. Why semi-conservative? In each DNA molecule, newly synthesized molecule, one strand will be of the parental one and the other will be of the newly synthesized strand. Okay, so because of this, it is called a semi-conservative method. Understood? So one, you can see here in this diagram also, this, okay, this was the DNA, parental DNA molecule. It is getting divided into two molecules. Okay, two molecules. This is one and this is another one. So in this you can see that one strand, that red colored one, is the parental one, and the blue one is the new one. And here also you can see, isn't it? This is the parental strand and this is the newly synthesized strand. Is it clear? Now the experiment, okay, that proved that DNA replication is semi-conservative. This experiment was done by, so to prove the semi-conservative method of DNA replication, okay, Matthew Michelson and Franklin Stahl, okay, they performed experiments on E. coli bacteria. Okay, so in E. coli bacteria they have done their experiment. Okay, who are they? Michelson and Stahl, you can call them like that. Matthew Michelson and Franklin Stahl. Okay, so what they did is they grew E. coli bacterium in a medium containing ammonium chloride. Okay, so ammonium chloride is the what the source which gives what nitrogen, and that kind of ammonium chloride he had taken where N15 is the heavy isotope of the nitrogen. Understood? So N15H4. Understood? Cl, that is ammonium. This ammonium chloride they have taken in the medium, and as a result what that only nitrogen source, as the only nitrogen source for this bacterium to grow was N15, okay, of this N15H4Cl, that is ammonium chloride. So what happened? This N15 was got incorporated into their newly synthesized strand, because they will have to take nitrogen to develop or to form the new strand from the medium only, and the medium was having only N15, okay, because that nitrogen in the ammonium chloride was N15. So the newly synthesized strand will have what? N15. Understood? So this heavy DNA molecule, how we can identify from the normal DNA molecule? By centrifugation in a cesium chloride density gradient. Okay, so by centrifugation in cesium chloride density gradient, okay, technique. So here N15 is not the radioactive isotope, but only it is different from the N14 based on their densities. Okay, N15 is not the radioactive isotope of nitrogen. Understood? In short, what they did is, Michelson and Stahl, what they did is they have taken the bacteria, E. coli bacteria, and they have grown them in a medium containing ammonium chloride. In that, the nitrogen was what? N15 instead of N14. Okay, so what the bacteria, when they replicate, they have to make what? New DNA molecules, and in that the new strand will be having N15. Okay, so how this N15 strand and N14 strand can be separated by what? Density centrifugation in a cesium chloride density gradient method. Okay, as N15 is not the radioactive isotope. Okay, only based on the densities it can be separated. Now what they did, second step what they did is, they transferred these cells into a medium containing normal ammonium chloride, means in which the nitrogen is N14. Is it clear? And then what they did is, they took out samples, means as the bacteria get divided in the new medium containing normal nitrogen, they have isolated the bacterial cells and extracted the DNA, and then they have they separated, okay, the DNA strands on cesium chloride density gradients. Understood? So when they observed, okay, the bacteria which are taken from N15 containing medium to N14 containing medium, what happened is their DNA were of intermediate type. Okay, so after one generation, how you will understand? E. coli takes around 20 minutes, okay, to divide. So after 20 minutes of transfer from N15 medium to N14, they could see that they were having what? Intermediate type of density, okay, or the strands were hybrid. Hybrid means one was having N14 and another was having N15. So how it was possible? Because this strands, as they were grown in N15 containing medium for many generations, both the DNA strands were having N15. But when they were they were transferred to the new medium containing N14, they could see that both the strands, means this DNA got divided into two, and in them one strand was of the N15 and the other was of N14. Okay, hybrid DNA they were having, and the density was intermediate, as both were having equal proportion. And again after 20 minutes, that is total 40 minutes. First generation after 20 minutes and the second generation after another 20 minutes. So when they took, okay, they could see that different types of DNA was produced, that is one containing both the light strand, because they are growing in where only in the N14 containing medium now. Okay, and this DNA was having what, one N14 strand and one N15 strand. In the DNA parental strand, which is having N14 strand, synthesized one more newly synthesized strand, that was from taking the N14 from the medium. Understood? And this DNA, whose parental strand was having N15, okay, they synthesized one more strand by taking the nitrogen, that is N14 from the nutrient medium, and this also same way. Okay, and here you can see what light chains, that is N14 containing the DNA, both the strands of DNA were having N14. Is it clear? So from this, what they understood, one strand of DNA was always retained and one more new strand is synthesized. Okay, so as they were synthesizing the new strand, here in this case they used what, the nutrients from the what cultural medium, and as there was no N15, they took only what, N14 from the medium and they made the new strand. So they could see that half of them were having what, they were having the hybrid DNA, and the other were having what, the light chain. Okay, so equal amounts of hybrid DNA was there and of light DNA. Okay, understood or what? So here you can see hybrid DNA. Okay, two equal amount of two hybrid DNAs are there and two DNAs with the N14 chains. Understood? So from this it was confirmed that the DNA replication is semi-conservative. So is it clear? That is, out of the two strands, okay, of the newly synthesized daughter molecules of DNA, one strand will be the parent strand, and that will remain as the template on which the newly synthesized strand will be formed. Okay, so the information for the formation of newly synthesized strand is given by the parental strand. So this experiment is to prove that DNA replication is semi-conservative. Is it clear? So later on in Vicia faba, okay, so that's a kind of beans that comes under leguminous family, and in that also experiments were conducted, okay, using radioactive thymidine. That also by whom? By Taylor and colleagues. Okay, so that also proved that DNA replication is semi-conservative. Okay, confirmed by Taylor. Taylor, what, in which organism it done? They have he has done the experiment on Vicia faba. Okay, so using what? Radioactive thymidine. That also confirmed the semi-conservative method of DNA replication. So this experiment also you have to learn. This diagram you have to draw in your copy. Okay, and you have to practice, because this can be asked in the examination. Okay, so this is the what, N14, N15 containing means strands, okay, which is having N15. Then after transferring into the N14 containing medium, normal nitrogen containing medium, okay, they got what, hybrid DNA. And when they allowed to grow the bacterium for the next generation, after one more 20 minutes, they could see that the DNAs were formed like this. This diagram also you have to draw in your copy and practice. Okay, so next let's see how replication process takes place. Is it clear? So let's see. I told replication is the process by which a DNA molecule is getting divided into two molecules of DNA, isn't it? And we'll study the process, and in that we have to study about the enzymes that are needed, like helicases, DNA dependent DNA polymerases, ligases, etc. Okay, and we have to study about the replication fork. Okay, then continuous and discontinuous synthesis, Okazaki fragments, etc. Okay, so let's study each of this. Major enzyme that is needed for DNA replication is what? DNA dependent DNA polymerase. Okay, DNA dependent DNA polymerase. This is the major enzyme that helps in the polymerization of deoxynucleotides. Okay, as you know, DNA is a polymer of the monomers called what? Deoxynucleotides, isn't it? Nucleotides, as it is in DNA, we call it as what? Deoxynucleotides. Okay, so this is done with the help of DNA polymerase. Okay, so when you see them, okay, it is very efficient, and it can polymerize a large number of nucleotides within a short period of time. Okay, that is within this 4.6 into 10 to the power 6 base pairs, that much base pairs are there in E. coli, and that can be completed within 18 minutes. Okay, so that is the average polymerization rate of DNA polymerase is. Why it is called DNA dependent DNA polymerase? Because it uses DNA template to catalyze the polymerization. Okay, because without the template it cannot do this polymerization, and it depends on the DNA, understood, template. So only it is known as DNA dependent DNA polymerase, and the speed, the average speed is around 2000 base pair per second. Okay, so first thing I told, it is very fast, and the second thing is the high degree of accuracy that is showing. Okay, so DNA dependent polymerase shows accuracy, means what? The correct base pairs according to the complementarity they can add. For example, wherever T is there in the complementary strand, okay, or template strand, they will add in the new strand A only. Okay, and if it is C, then they will add G in the new strand. Likewise, they shows what? Accuracy. If there is any change, that can cause what? Mutations. Okay, so that is one thing about the DNA polymerase. And then this addition to add one monomer to the growing chain of nucleotide, it's not so easy. It is very energy requiring process. So this energy who provides? So you have learned that ATP provides energy every time, isn't it? So here in this process, the energy for the polymerization is given by deoxyribonucleosides, okay, which is the monomers which are added to this. Okay, so they do dual purpose. Okay, so they do two functions, that is they act as the monomers, and also they provide energy for the polymerization reaction. Okay, so this also have asked, explain the dual purpose of deoxyribonucleoside triphosphates, because deoxyribonucleoside triphosphate is just like ATP. When its third phosphate group, okay, get hydrolyzed, it what releases energy, and using that energy the polymerization reaction will be taking place. Okay, so in addition to that, many other enzymes are also needed, helicases. Okay, the DNA molecule, as it is having two strands, it has to be unbound, and it should be separated. So likewise various processes are there, and for this different enzymes are functioning. Okay, so it is not easy for the DNA, as what is the length of the DNA in a human cell? Around 2.2 meters I told, isn't it? So in other organisms also, as DNA molecules are very long, it is difficult to form the single strand all through the length of the DNA. So what is done is, at certain regions, small openings of the DNA, helix takes place. Understood? In certain regions, not all through the length of the DNA, but in certain regions the DNA will open. Okay, the unwinding happens first, and then the DNA in certain local places it will open, and that place where the opening of the DNA double helix takes place is called a replication fork. Okay, and then in this region the DNA dependent DNA polymerase catalyzes the DNA polymerization. And one more feature is there, that is this DNA polymerase can catalyze the polymerization only in one direction, that is in 5-3- direction. Okay, in 5-3- direction, and in the other strand means continuously they can add DNA means nucleotides in the 5-3' direction, and in that strand, okay, continuous synthesis takes place, understood, and in the other strand the replication is discontinuous. Okay, I will explain this. That is, you can see two parental strand here. This is one DNA molecule, and here this is showing the replication fork, isn't it? And then you see in the template strand, which is in the 5-3' direction. This is the 5-3' direction. Okay, from the this side you see. Okay, and you can see that in this, okay, the other strand, newly synthesized strand, should be formed in this direction, that is in the 5-3' direction, and this synthesis is continuous. Okay, continuous synthesis takes place. But in the other strand, you see this is the 5-3' parental strand, and in that, in which direction the DNA synthesis should take place? In the means that new strand should be in this direction, isn't it? In this direction. Okay, so here like this it should be 3' to 5'. So in this direction the DNA polymerase cannot add nucleotides. Okay, so what they do is, in the 5-3' parental strand, what they do is they synthesize the newly synthesized or newly formed strand is synthesized in small fragments in the 5-3' direction, and then it will be joined by Okazaki. These fragments are known as Okazaki fragments. Okay, and this Okazaki fragments are joined by the DNA ligase. Okay, ligases will join the DNA. Okay, strands which are formed discontinuously. Okay, so these are what various steps or stages of DNA polymerization. Understood? Or DNA polymerization or DNA replication. So I told some of the features, like various enzymes are needed, like helicases, DNA dependent DNA polymerases, ligases, etc. Many enzymes are there. Okay, and all through the length of the DNA replication means the single stranded DNA cannot form. First, what happens is double stranded DNA will unwound. Okay, they will get separated into single strand, and each of that will act as the template strand. Understood? And in which only new strands will be synthesized according to semi-conservative method. I've already explained it. And in the strand which is in the 3-5' direction, template strand which is in the 3-5' direction, the newly formed strand will be synthesized continuously, and that is known as the leading strand. And in the other strand, okay, other template strand which is in the 5-3' direction, the new strand can be synthesized in fragments. In which direction? 5-3'. Okay, the fragments will be formed in small the small fragments will be formed in 5-3' direction by the DNA dependent polymerase, and then it will be joined by the ligases. This replication can takes place, okay, not at any places. Means replication fork or initiation of replication cannot takes place at any place. So there are certain regions where replication can start. They are known as origin of replication. What is it? Origin of replication. So you can see here, this is a DNA strand. Okay, DNA molecule with the 5-3' and 3-5' polarity, means opposite polarity they are having. The strand, this strand is in the 3-5' direction. In this, the DNA polymerase can synthesize continuously the newly strand, because DNA dependent DNA polymerase can synthesize the DNA only in 5-3' direction. So this is the continuous strand. Okay, or leading strand. And in the other strand which is in the 5-3' direction, okay, in the 5-3' direction, you can see the DNA polymerase can add DNA, means new strand, in form of what? Small strips. called what? Okazaki fragments in 5-3' direction, and later it will be joined by ligases. So when you say about the DNA replication, what all points you will say? First is, what is replication? You have to say the definition. Okay, then you have to say DNA replication is what? Semi-conservative. Okay, where in the newly formed DNA molecule, one strand will be what? Parental one, and the other one will be newly synthesized. Here, if it is not asked, you need not to write the experiment to prove the semi-conservative method of DNA replication. If it is asked, then you have to write. Okay, then you will have to say about the enzymes. Then you will have to say about the continuous and discontinuous synthesis of DNA, about Okazaki fragments. Okay, then you have to say about the accuracy and the speed, that also you can say. Okay, and so this process, that is DNA replication, when it takes place in the S phase of the cell cycle. Okay, so during the S phase of the cell cycle only it takes place. Okay, so if cell division does not takes place, okay, then what happens? There will be polyploid condition. Okay, so this is what replication. I hope you understand.